Hi everybody, my name is Michael Zornick and today is Wednesday, August 23rd, and today I'd like to do a little bit of the demo, talk a little bit about some Elixir testing tips. So here I have a project, pretty simple. I've got a module with some math logic on the left, and I have my test module on the right, and I can run MixTest to run the test suite, and that works really well. So the very first tip is a tool, and it's an additional tool you can install as a dependency called MixTestWatch. And the way this works is you run this and it'll run your test suite, and then it'll look for the basically file system changes to rerun it. So if I change this to a 4 and hit save, it'll automatically rerun the test. You don't have to manually do that. And for me personally, when I'm doing test-driven development, I kind of like to have a terminal on the other monitor I have, just running test all the time, and I'm kind of focused in on the code on the main monitor. That really works well. The other thing that you can kind of do is if you have a test that is not working and you need to kind of take it out of the rotation for a little while, or you just don't want its failure to kind of be bothering you, you can use a tag. So you can say at tag skip. And then, and this is a default for X unit. It'll automatically not include that within the test run. The other big thing I want to talk about today is actually interactive tests. So I've been working with a lot of OAuth work lately, and the challenge with our particular OAuth work is that it's being developed in kind of like a headless environment, and so it's really tough to test. So really quickly, OAuth is the style where if you want to authenticate somebody to your app via a third-party vendor like Microsoft or Google, what you'll end up doing is you will create some secrets, and then you will generate a URL. You send the user to the vendor. They approve your use of your app, and then they kind of come back via a redirect. And so this is the way it works. And because we're working kind of in a headless environment, we don't have a UI for QA people or whatever to kind of validate our work. One of the things we've done is we've created an interactive test. So the way this looks, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up. So I've synthesized a very generic OAuth module here, where you can imagine there's a function that will generate an authorized URL, and then there's another function which will take the response from the redirect and generate an access token so you can do something with it. And in our test here, we've got a module, and we've said use X unit case async false because we don't want this to run alongside anything else. And in fact, we've actually introduced a module tag called OAuth manual demo. And what this will let us do is basically exclude this test from everything, and then only run it when we want to. And the way you run that is basically with this command up here, where we encourage the tester to basically import the test environment variables, and then they run MixTest with the file, and then they include OAuth manual demo, and then they include an extra long timeout because this is a human thing. They're going to go to the website and come back. It'll take them a little while to do it. And then for this demo, I've got a URL I can copy. So the way this works is we've got a test, we got some instructions, we push them out, puts to the terminal, and then we generate the URL, we publish that as well, and then we do redirect URL results, and so we use IO gets, and so this will make the test basically just sit there waiting for the user to kind of type something in. Once we get that, we trim it, and then we create a URI, grab the query parameters, pass those query parameters to our fetch access token with response, and then validate that it works by printing the access token to the terminal. So I'll show you how this works. Just copy this command, and I will clean that out. And so this will run all the instructions, and basically the user at this point would be encouraged to copy this URL, go to a web browser, paste it in, validate that the auth prompt looks proper, the allow button, then they'll be redirected back. And so what they're encouraged to do is copy that redirect URL and paste it into this test. And so for this test, I'm going to copy this one, and then it'll work. It'll validate that our code works as we want to. The way, and just before we finish, the way you get OAuth manual demo into the exclude list is through the xunit.start. So this typically lives in testhelpers.exs. You can just pass exclude here, and it'll exclude all modules that have this tag. But yeah, a couple of quick tips on testing. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. The code for this is going to be on GitHub, and I'll post a link in the description below. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.